We welcome you back to Tom Roach Field in Greeley, Colorado, University High School. After the first inning, Brush left two stranded after they had two base on balls and base on ball and a hit by pitch, and they weren't able to score. Coming up the bat for University in the bottom half of the first inning is Nolan Johnson. He bunts his first pitch. Carson Rule comes off, picks up the ball, and throws it to first base for a quick 1-3 out. Nolan Johnson squared around and bunted that just to see if Brush had a little bit of a softness on the left side of their infield, but Brush was able to take care of what they needed to. Up the bat next for University is Caleb Padilla. Caleb Padilla, senior, he's hitting .361 on the season. He's a starting pitcher for University today, and he has lots of experience. I think he's been playing, this is his fourth year on the varsity level. Carson Rule pitches. First pitch is a strike. Caleb Padilla, he ends up hitting it down the right field line, and Ivan Cardenas is in for Eli Garcilazo, and Ivan gets over to the line, picks up the ball, throws it in, but Caleb Padilla has a double. So that'll bring up to bat the right fielder, Andre Chacon. Andre Chacon is hitting .317 on the season. Padilla leads off second base. Carson Rule with the pitch. Inside, third of the plate. Andre Chacon gets set. Carson Rule on the mound for Brush. Set, the pitch, curveball, and Chacon fouls that in the dirt. And Hunter Ledgate is able to corral that about 8 feet from home plate, throw it back to Carson Rule. So Chacon is down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Caleb Padilla leads off second base. Carson Rule, the sign, the stretch, the pitch. Nice pitch on the inner half of the plate. The umpire called the ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Beautiful day in Greeley. Carson Rule with the pitch inside, and Andre Chacon gets around on that and fouls it. Line drive down the left field line, and the left fielder corrals it after it careens off the fence, and they get that back to the catcher. Get the ball to the pitcher.
Stubbs Gas and Oil. Fill up your cooler and gas up your car at Stubbs Gas and Oil. Easy and convenient. Make them the only stop you need on your way to the big game.
The pitch from Rule to Andre Chacon. Off-speed pitch, up and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The battery for Brush today is Carson Rule on the hill, Hunter Ledgate behind the plate. The pitch from Rule. And Chacon ends up hitting that ball to straightaway center field. It gets up and over the shortstop and far enough that the center fielder is able to corral it, but not before it hits. Caleb Padilla comes around third and scores, and on the throw to the plate, Andre Chacon takes second base. So Chacon gets the RBI, and he's at second base. There's 1 out. University scored the first run in the game in the bottom of the first inning. 1 out, 1 on. The pitch from Rule. Line drive to left field. Caden Schwint picks it up on 1 hop after the line drive out to him, and Andre Chacon moves up to third base, and the batter ends up getting a single to where he is standing on first. So we have first and third. with 1 out. And that brings up Jerry Martinez. Colton Whittler had that hit to left field. The stretch from Rule. Ball's hit the straightaway center field. Alejandro Maltos Garcia corrals it, throws it in. He had the out in center field, but Andre Chacon tags up and comes in for a sacrifice fly and scores. Whittler stays at first base. There's 2 outs. First pitch from Carson Rule to Alex Martinez, the catcher for University. Pulls it off his foot. Ball goes up the first baseline. Whittler's on first with 2 outs. Set the defense in the infield. It's Ben Garrett at third, Nick Wallen at short, Braxton Shelton at second, Bryson Wooldridge at first base. The pitch from Rule. Strike on the outer third of the plate. In the outfield, we have Caden Schwint, Alejandro Maltos Garcia in center, and Vaughn Cardenas in right field. 0-2 count to Alex Martinez. Down to University's bullpen. They scored 2 runs here in the bottom half of the first inning. Rule with a pitch. Up, but it's a swinging strike for Alex Martinez, and he strikes out.
And that is the end of the inning.
So for University, they had 2 runs on 3 hits. They left 1 on base. There were no brush errors. So with a score 2 for University and 0 for Brush, you're listening to Brush Beat Diggers Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.
Welcome back to Tom Roche Field, where the University Bulldogs are facing Brush Beat Diggers. And it's off the second inning. Cargill Meat Solutions. Cargill works with the community to make sure there are jobs for the members of the communities they're in.
First pitch from Caleb Padilla to Bryson Wooldridge as he leads off this top of the second inning is a strike on the outer third of the plate. The pitch from Padilla to Wooldridge swings through the pitch. Bryson is down 0-2 in the count. Bryson pitched a fine game on Thursday against Platte Valley. Threw 74 pitches, didn't give up a run. Pitch from Padilla to Wooldridge, and swinging strike 3.
Number 4, Ludgate.
And this brings up Hunter Ludgate, the catcher for the Beat Diggers.
1 out. The pitch from Padilla to Ludgate. If you can hear the umpire, he gives a quick, sharp strike. So Ludgate falls behind in the count. No balls and 1 strike. Second pitch from Padilla to Ludgate. About the same spot as the pitch before. Ludgate swings through it. He's down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. And Ludgate watches the next pitch. Right down the heart of the plate. 3 pitches. Ludgate's back to the dugout.
That brings up Yvonne Cardenas.
Yvonne Cardenas is in right field for Eli. I'm not sure what happened, but Yvonne is in the game. First pitch, Yvonne fouls back. Second pitch is up and in and over. Yvonne Cardenas swings through the pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Yvonne Cardenas. Fifth pitch in the at-bat to Cardenas. curveball, and the curveball went outside. Catcher Martinez, Alex Martinez, set up outside, and Yvonne did not offer it the pitch, and the umpire called a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Yvonne. Padilla paints the outside corner, strike 3. Caught looking. After 1.5 innings of play with the score University 2 and Brush 0, you're listening to Brush Beet Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Welcome you back to Tom Roach Field in Greeley, Colorado, University's home field, in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and we have Chaden Cox coming up the bat for University. Chaden Cox is a junior. He's hitting .357 on the season. Cox is also the left fielder. First pitch from Carson Rule is a strike on the outer third of the plate. The pitch from Rule. Inside, ball. Skips past the catcher and to the screen. Pitch from Carson Rule. And Chaden Cox fouls it off on the end of the bat towards the Beet Digger dugout up the first baseline. Carson Rule's ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Off-speed pitch, outside. Pitch from Rule. Chaden Cox barrels it, hits a line drive out. So Chaden Cox is on at first base, and that brings up a freshman, River Jackson. And River Jackson's been hitting .357 on the season. He's been getting quite a few at-bats for University. Rule looks over towards Chaden Cox at first and decides getting a little bit too far off. Want to make sure that he doesn't venture too far, and throws it over to Bryson Wooldridge, the first baseman, just to make sure Chaden Cox stays a little bit closer. Rule, the lefty, to the freshman River Jackson. Jackson is playing second base for University today. The pitch from Rule, inner third of the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike. Chaden Cox leads off at first base. No outs for University in this bottom of the 2nd inning. The pitch from Rule, up and a ball. On the pitch, Chaden Cox takes off, and Hunter Ledgate gets a good throw to second. 2 balls and a strike to River Jackson. Pitch looked pretty good, must have been low. 3 balls and a strike to River Jackson. Chaden Cox leads off from second base. Carson Rule, stretch, pitch, and he twirls and gets the ball to Braxton Shelton, who is covering the bag. Nothing going on with University, no plays, it seemed like, on that exchange. But Carson Rule, the pitch. Seems to me that University has been getting pretty good hacks against Carson Rule today. They've been barreling up on the ball. That's nothing new for University. They're good. Aiden Schwint picks up the ball and gets it out to the infield. The freshman, River Jackson. University. First pitch from Carson Rule to Joe Medina is a swinging strike. So that puts University up 3-0 over the Brush Beet Diggers. Second pitch from Carson Rule is up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Joe Medina, the shortstop. Joe Medina fouls the ball back to the screen and leads leads off from second base. Carson Rule gets a sign, stretch. Nothing doing. They, but just enough to keep him close. The pitch from Rule to the plate. Popped up into the infield. Nick Wellen is settling underneath it at shortstop, and Nick Wellen pulls it in for the first out.
Nolan Johnson.
Top of the order, Nolan Johnson grounded out. Steps in, and Carson Rule's for a pitch. Nolan Johnson fouls back. 1 ball, 1 strike to the leadoff hitter. 34 on the season coming into today's game. Nolan Johnson fouls that pitch down the line to Hopper. Ben Garrett lunges at it. It's foul, but Garrett corrals it. But foul ball, so no harm. Didn't get past him. That was reminiscent of a Nolan Arenado. Pitch from Carson Rule, and Nolan Johnson fouls it back to the screen. Carson Rule's been around the plate from 35 at this point, 25 of them for strikes. And Shelton on a pickoff. River Jackson runs to third base, and River Jackson is thrown out. But what do we have? We have timeout. Timeout by the umpire. Nothing doing, nothing happened. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Nolan Johnson. The 5th pitch of the at-bat. Nolan Johnson fouls it back and to the right. Thought we had an out there at third, but time was called. It's unfortunate for Brush. That would have been good to be able to get the second out of the inning, clear the bases. Nolan Johnson does have 8 RBIs on the season in 13 games for University. Pitch from Carson Rule on the outside part of the plate. And in, ball 3. 7 pitches in the at-bat. This will be the 8th pitch. Quality at-bat for Nolan Johnson. Pitch from Rule. Nolan Johnson fouls that down the right field line. Bryson Woodridge comes over to the fence, but it just goes foul, out of play. Got full count to Nolan Johnson. Rule hit by Nolan Johnson down the left field line, tugging the foul line. Caden Schwint gives a good chase and a dive, but the ball was foul. Caden did not come up with the ball, but he gave good effort. Nolan Johnson. Good battle. River Jackson leads off from second base. There's 1 out for University. University has a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the second inning. Pitch by Carson Rule. Couldn't have missed by much. That pitch ruled low. So, Nolan Johnson takes first base. River Jackson is at second. Brings to the plate Caleb Padilla. Padilla had a double his first time at the plate. 1 out. The pitch from Rule. Ball inside. The one thing coming into this game that I noticed, Brush and University have 3 common opponents. The pitch from Rule. Pitch right down the middle. Strike. 3 common opponents, and both University and Brush are 2-1 against those common opponents. Brush beat Fort Morgan and Valley. University beat Brush beat Fort Morgan and Valley. Pop up from Caleb Padilla to Braxton Shelton in the infield is an out for the second out, and that'll have the runners at first and second with 2 outs, and Andre Chacon comes to the plate. Andre Chacon had a single his first time at bat. As I was saying, both Fort Morgan and Valley, Brush and University have beat, and at Eaton, both Brush and University lost to Eaton. We have a pickoff pitch to the plate. Ludgate throws to third base as they were doing a double steal. River Jackson stops and heads back to second base, and then Garrett gets the ball over to Nick Bowen, who applies the tag for the third out in the inning. For University, they did not have any runs. No, they did score a run. Hold on a second. I've got to take care of some business here. University did score a run with a score of University 3, Brush 0. You're listening to Brush Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.
Welcome back to Tom Roach Field, where the Brush Beat Diggers are taking on the University Bulldogs. And we are in the top of the third inning, and that is brought to you by Transwest Auto. Transwest believes that customers are number one. And check out their selection online or stop in one of their dealerships in Fort Morgan or Sterling today.
Caden Schwint comes to bat in the top of the third inning. Number 9 hitter in the lineup for Brush. First pitch from Caleb Padilla on the outer third of the plate for a strike. Padilla gets a ball. He's quick, setting up, has a good rhythm, good cadence, and brings the ball to the plate. The pitch. Caden Schwint swings through the pitch. It's down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Padilla gets a sign from catcher Alex Martinez. Martinez sets up on the outer part of the plate. Pitch just missed the black, because the umpire's been calling the black today. So ball 1 to Caden Schwint, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch, the delivery from Caleb Padilla. Swinging strike. Caden Schwint strikes out. Had a good look, but struck out swinging. That brings up Carson Rule. Carson Rule walked in the first inning. Padilla gets a sign. He's working from the stretch, not the full windup. Nobody on base, but the stretch. Carson Rule swings through the first pitch, fouls it back to the catcher's glove. Padilla's working quickly. Top of the third inning. Carson Rule swings at that pitch on the inner third of the plate, hits it to left center field, and the left fielder, Chaden Cox, moves over and squeezes his glove and pulls it in for the out. So that's 2 outs in the inning.
That brings up Braxton Shelton, the freshman, second baseman.
Thank you, Evan. Evan James on the broadcast today with me, Kevin Fergus. That brings up Braxton Shelton. First pitch to Braxton is outside. First time that Braxton came up, Carson Rule got on base via a walk, and Braxton bunted for a sacrifice in order to move him to second base. The pitch from Dia, low in the dirt, bounces back. University and Brush are 2-1 against common opponents. Fort Morgan and Valley, they both have wins, and against Eaton, they both have losses. Total up score between each pinched that way, and he's able to pull in the ball for the third out. Just to finish that thought, Brush has outscored those 3 opponents 23-21, and University's outscored those opponents 23-20. So very, very close, but Brush is out of the inning with the score University 3, Brush 0. You're listening to Brush Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.
Welcome back back to Tom Roach Field, where the Brush Beakers are down 3-0 to the University Bulldogs.
Thank you, Evan James. First pitch from Carson Rule to Andre Chacon, who was at the plate in the bottom of last inning when they had the pickoff and the runner out. First pitch to Andre Chacon is up and away for ball one. Second pitch from Rule on the inner third of the plate for a strike. Carson is getting the ball and firing quickly, and the next pitch to Andre Chacon is fouled and out of play down the left field line and over the fence. So Carson, pretty much doing what Caleb Padilla was doing, is just getting the ball and firing. Next pitch from Carson Rule, and Andre Chacon hits a single to center field. Solid line drive.
Colton Whitler.
And that brings up Colton Whitler. Colton Whitler had a single his first time up. University's had traffic in this, the third inning. Scored 2 runs in the first inning. 1 run in the second inning. Carson Rule, the pitch. Colton Whitler, ball in the dirt. Hunter Ledgate does a nice job keeping the ball in front of him. Andre Chacon thought about going, but the ball stayed in front of Ledgate, so Chacon returned to first base. Pitch from Carson Rule to the plate. Ball up. 2 balls, no strikes to Colton Whitler. Colton Whitler sitting at .353 on the season. He's a senior. I think he's been a 4-year varsity player for University. Carson Rule throws over to first base to make sure Andre Chacon stays close to the bag. Ledgate has thrown out runners from behind the plate this season. Does a nice job of being able to get the ball out of his glove quickly. Pitch from Rule, curveball in the inner part of the plate, ruled a ball by the umpire. 3 balls, no strikes to Colton Whitler. Pitch from Carson Rule on the black on the outside corner. 3 balls and a strike. Chacon gets a good lead at first. Rule with a pitch. Whitler swings through the pitch. Full count. Whitler wears number 13 on the back of his jersey. Casey Miller is the coach for University. He's in the third base coach's box. Pitch from Rule on the inner part of the plate. Ball 4. Was close, but Whitler didn't offer. And one thing that Carson Rule doesn't do is give up base on balls. He's thrown 54 pitches today. He's thrown 35 strikes, 19 balls. And that'll bring up Jerry Martinez. Jerry Martinez had a sacrifice fly his first time at the plate. Jerry fouled the ball back to the screen. Carson Rule gets up in the count, no balls and a strike. Runners at first and second, nobody out for University. Pitch from Carson Rule on the black, on the outside corner, and the umpire calls strike. No balls, 2 strikes to Jerry Martinez. The pitch from Rule, hit to Shelton. Shelton gets it to Wellen for the first out at second. Wellen completes the double play to Bryson Woldridge at first. So that was a 4-6-3 double play. Ground ball that worked for Brush to get the 2 outs. Andre Chacon moved up to third base. 2 outs for Brush. The pitch from Carson Rule to Alex Martinez, the catcher for University, was a ball. It was down around Alex's feet. Rule gets assigned the pitch. There we go. Nice pitch by Carson Rule. Throws it past Alex Martinez for a strike. Carson Rule gets a sign. Chacon leads off from third base. Alex Martinez fouls that off down the right field line. And Braxton Shelton gives chase. Bryson Woolridge gives chase. Yvonne Cardenas gives chase, but it's a foul, and it finds the turf. So just a long strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Alex Martinez. Alex Martinez struck out last time. He swung through a pitch. Carson Rule is throwing 2/3 strikes to the University hitters. He's thrown 60 pitches, 40 strikes, 20 balls. The pitch from Rule, outside, ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Alex Martinez. See if Brush can get out of this inning without any damage from a leadoff single. Alex Martinez fouls that ball down the left field line. Ben Garrett gives chase, but the ball is just out of play. Nick Wellen was there, and I've got Cesar Hinojos in left field. Cesar Hinojos is the new left fielder.
Looks like the rest of the field is the same, though. So
that's what it appears, Evan. Thank you. Pitch from Rule to Alex Martinez. High, but he swings through the pitch for strike 3. That's the 3rd out in the inning for Brush.
This takes us to the top of the 4th inning.
So University scores no runs on 1 hit. There were no Brush errors. There was 1 runner left on base. So with a score, University 3, Brush 0 after 3 complete innings. You're listening to Brush Beet Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.
Welcome back to Tom Roach Field, where Brush Beet Diggers are losing 3 to 0. And up to bat is Nick Wellen.
Top of the 4th inning for Brush. Number 21, Nick Wellen, comes to the plate. First pitch to Nick is a strike on the outer third of the plate. The beauty of baseball is on any given day, anybody can win. Get good pitching effort, and it stops good hitting. Nick Wellen hits the ball to shortstop. Padilla picks up the ball, throws off his knees to first base. Didn't quite get to the bag and went past the first baseman, Jerry Martinez. And Wellen moves up to second base on the throw. So we had a single, because that was a true single, because I don't think Padilla was going to be able to get Nick Wellen. And then he advanced to second base.
On an error.
On an error by the shortstop, Padilla. And that brings up to the plate Ben Garrett. I misspoke. Joe Medina's, that was a nice play by Joe Medina, but nonetheless, it was an error. Ben Garrett fouls that pitch down the first baseline, past the coach's box. Nick Wellen leads off at second base. Pitcher Caleb Padilla pitches to Ben Garrett. Pitch to Garrett. Garrett fouls. Line drive past the first baseman, but foul. So Garrett's in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes. University leads 3-0 over the Brush Beet Diggers. The pitch from Padilla. Garrett grounds the ball to Medina at short. Medina picks the ball and throws to first base for the out. Nick Wellen moved up on the play as the ball was hit softly on the ground. Padilla picked it up on the grass portion of the infield. So Wellen's at third base with one out. This is Brush's best scoring chance that they have, and that brings to the plate Alejandro Maltos Garcia. He struck out swinging his first time up. Pitch from Caleb Padilla to Alejandro Maltos Garcia, and he swings through the pitch. Strike one. Padilla looks in, sets the pitch. Maltos Garcia hits a line drive past the second baseman to right field. Wellen comes in to score. Maltos Garcia, that's a nice base hit. Fought it off and hit it to the right side. And that allowed Wellen to be able to come in and score. So that brings to the plate Bryson Wooldridge. Bryson Wooldridge struck out swinging his first time up. Hondo leads off first base. Padilla with the pitch. Curveball, low and away to Bryson Wooldridge. Brush always battles. Any given day, any team has an opportunity in order to be able to win. Maltos Garcia leads off first. Padilla, the pitch. Strike right down the middle to Bryson Wooldridge. Bryson Wooldridge, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Brush is able to battle and get a run in here in the top of the 4th inning. Wooldridge hits the ball back to Padilla. Padilla gets it over to Medina, out at second, and Medina over to first for the 1-6-3 double play.
That'll take us to the bottom of the 4th inning with Brush scoring 1.
1 run on 2 hits. There was 1 University error, and there were no runners left on base. So, with the score, University 3, Brush 1, you're listening to Brush Beat Diggers Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.
And we're back at Tom Roach Field, where the Brush Beat Diggers trail the Bulldogs 1-3.
Pitch from Carson Rule, swinging by Chaden Cox, the first batter in this bottom of the 4th inning. Chaden Cox, the left fielder, he singled his first time at the plate. Chaden Cox pops this up. Braxton Shelton goes out to the outfield grass and is able to pull in that for an out.
Up to bat for the Bulldogs, number 27, River Jackson.
So that'll bring up River Jackson with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. River Jackson hit a double his last time to the plate. And he's the one that got caught up between second and third and tagged out for the out in the 2nd inning. River Jackson fouls that off to the right side and out of play. Carson Rule, we're sitting at 66 pitches. River Jackson steps in. Carson Rule, the sign, the windup. Throws a curveball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to River Jackson. Beautiful day for baseball here at University. Pitch from Carson Rule on the outer half of the zone, but the umpire rules a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch from Rule. Swinging strike. Fouled it off. Hunter Ledgate squeezed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Rule. Pitch low and away. Full count to the freshman, River Jackson, the second baseman. Pitch from Rule. Fouled up, and Hunter Ledgate comes back to the fence, and right before the fence he lunges, feet first, sliding and does an underhanded catch in order to be able to haul that in for an out. Nice play by Hunter Ledgate. And that brings to the plate Joe Medina. Joe Medina, he flew out his first time at the plate. Carson Rule's getting a good rhythm at this point. Joe Medina squares around, bunts, and the ball goes foul to the University batter circle.
Wind's starting to pick up out here, so.
This is just a slight breeze compared to the other day when we had gale
Oh, yeah.
blowing.
Oh, yeah.
Pitch from Rule, up and out of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. The wind is blowing from right to left to the north on this field. Medina fouls out of play and into the parking lot. So the wind is blowing to left field. So Cesar Hinojos will need to be on his horse in order to be able to chase anything down. Joe Medina swings through the pitch in the dirt. Hunter Ledgate corrals it for strike 3. Inning recap. University scored no runs on no hits. There were no brush errors, and there were nobody left on base. The score after 4 complete innings, University 3, Brush 1. You're listening to Brush Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.
Welcome back to Tom Roach Field. The Colorado High Schools Activities Association Baseball is on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. From University High School, the University Bulldogs face the Brush High School Beat Diggers. Good afternoon. I'm Evan James and Kevin Fergus.
First pitch to Hunter Ledgate was a ball in the top of the 5th inning from Caleb Padilla. Pitch from Padilla to Ledgate, a strike on the inner third of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike to Hunter Ledgate. He struck out looking his first time at the plate today. Caleb Padilla tries to paint that outside corner, and the ball just grazes the catcher's mitt and goes to the screen. 2 balls, 1 strike to Hunter Ledgate, the catcher for Brush Beat Diggers. The pitch from Padilla. Ledgate pops it up. Second baseman River Jackson fades to the outfield grass to his left and is able to haul that ball in for an out.
That'll bring up Yvonne Cardenas, the freshman right fielder.
Yvonne Cardenas, his first time up, he struck out looking. The pitch from Padilla, outside, black, strike. Umpire's been pretty consistent calling the outside corner all day. Yvonne Cardenas faces Caleb Padilla, fouls this pitch to the screen and to the left. Caleb Padilla has thrown 58 pitches, 43 of them strikes, 15 for balls. So he's almost at that 3 strikes for every 4 that he's thrown. Alex Martinez sets up outside. Ball in the dirt, goes to the screen for a ball. Ball 1 to Yvonne Cardenas. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the freshman. Padilla with the pitch. Paints the outside corner. Strike 3 looking. That's twice that Yvonne has gone down looking. And that brings up
Cesar Hinojos.
Cesar Hinojos, who took over for Caden Schwint in left field. So Cesar comes to the plate, hitting in the number 9 spot, number 22 on his back, and swings at the first pitch from Caleb Padilla. Cesar falls into the hole, no balls, 1 strike. The pitch from Padilla and Hinojo swings through the pitch. Top of the 5th inning, University 3, Brush 1. Cesar Hinojos. The batter, Caleb Padilla. The sign, the pitch. Swinging strike 3 for the out. So Brush scores no runs on no hits. There were no University errors, and there was nobody left on base. The score after 4.5 complete innings, University 3, Brush 1. You're listening to Brush Beat Diggers Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.
And we're back at Tom Roach Field, where the Beat Diggers trail the Bulldogs 1-3.
Coming up to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning is Nolan Johnson. Top of the order, first pitch from Carson Rule is low and in. Carson Rule throws the next pitch, and it's fouled back for a strike, and that ball went out of play. Carson Rule is just right on the money. Going into this inning, he had 75 pitches, 50 for strikes, 25 for balls. Nolan Johnson hits the next pitch on the ground, through the infield, up the middle, and Alejandro Maltos Garcia corrals it and gets it back to the infield. So
that'll bring
Nolan
up
Johnson double. I'm off on that. Nolan Johnson at first base. Looks like he's wanting to run. That brings up Caleb Padilla. Caleb Padilla has hit a double, and he's flown out. So on the day, he's 1 for 2. Nolan Johnson, as I was saying, leads off from first base. Bryson Wooldridge at first base. Carson Rule throws to first, and Johnson is back. Next pitch, Carson Rule throws to the plate. Hunter Ledgate throws down to second base. Johnson is safe at second. The ball gets away from the shortstop, and the ball goes into short left field, and Johnson moves up to third base.
Caleb Padilla still at bat. Carson with the wind. He's bunting towards the first base line, and that goes foul. So foul ball for Caleb Padilla. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 5th inning with no outs.
Thank you, Evan. So Nolan Johnson is at third base. Caleb Padilla is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Infield is playing in for Brush. Pitch from Rule. Caleb Padilla swings through the pitch for strike 3, swinging. That brings up Andre Chacon for University. Andre Chacon is 2 for 2 on the day. He has 2 singles. 1 out in the inning. Rule with a pitch to Andre Chacon. Ball must have been inside. Looked good from here, but I'm not the one that's in blue, right behind the catcher. Pitch from Carson Rule. Andre Chacon laces it to left field. Cesar Hinojos gets it into second base. Nolan Johnson comes in to score, making the score University 4, Brush 1. And that'll bring up to the plate number 4 hitter in the lineup, Colton Widler. Colton Widler's official on the day is 1 for 1. He singled and walked. Chacon on at first base. Widler, first pitch from Rule, laces it down the third baseline. Widler hits a double to the corner. Cesar Hinojos gets the ball, gets it back in. Chacon moves up to second. Whittler moves into second base with a double. We have runners at second and third with one out, and Coach Tom Odell is coming out to talk to Carson Rule. That'll bring up Jerry Martinez. Jerry Martinez, official on the day, is 0 for 1. He had a sacrifice fly in the first inning, scored a run, and he grounded out. Carson Rule has 85 pitches on the day. Tom Odell talks to him, talks to the whole infield, and jogs back to the dugout. Infield is going to play in for Brush. Try to cut this run off at the plate. One out for Brush. But two runners at second and third for University. The pitch from Rule. Strike on the outside corner. Pitch from Rule. Strike. And it is on the infield between shortstop and the third baseman. The ball was thrown in from left field to Hunter Ludgate from Cesar Hinojos. Andre Chacon scored. The throw was to see if they could get Colton Whittler out. He scores safely, and Jerry Martinez moves up to second base on the throw. So that gives Brush 6 runs. I'm sorry, that gives University 6 runs. Brush 1. Coach Tom Odell comes out and talks to the umpire, Damian Savolt. I think he was just asking to see as to whether Hunter Ledgate was able to get a tag onto Colton Whittler. That brings up to the plate Alex Martinez. Alex Martinez has struck out twice swinging.
It's a different guy.
Number 12. Number 12. Braden Furister is hitting for Alex Martinez. Furister at the plate. First pitch was a ball. Second pitch from Carson Rule on the inner third of the plate was a strike. Thank you, Evan, for noticing that.
Yep.
We get that changed on iScore, make the adjustment. Carson Rule looks in, gets a sign, the pitch. Jerry Martinez leads off at second. Furister grounds the ball down to the third base coach's box to Casey Miller. Casey Miller fields it one-handed, gets the ball back to Carson Rule. Carson Rule sitting at 90 pitches on the day. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the batter, Braden Furister. Pitch from Rule, fouled back by Furister, out of play.
He's a senior this year.
Furister is a senior. He's hitting .438 on the season. He has 12 RBIs. He's played, it's just he didn't start today. I think he is a catcher by trade. Carson Rule's pitch. Outside, ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Braden Furister. Jerry Martinez leads off at second. The pitch from Rule, fouled back by Braden Furister and out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 6 pitches from Carson Rule to Braden Furister. This will be the 7th pitch from Rule. And he just laces it right up the middle. Grounder. Casey Miller is waving Jerry Martinez into the plate. And he scores easily without a throw. Center fielder gets it back to shortstop Nick Wellen. And Furister is on with a single. I'm not going to say that was a hard hit ground ball, but it was well placed. Coach Odell is coming out to remove Carson Rule from the game, as this is the second time in the inning of visiting the mound. Carson Rule will go to center field. Alejandro Maltos Garcia will move from center to left. Onto the hill. Well, wait a second.
That's Ben Garrett, third base.
Ben Garrett is coming to the mound, and Ben Garrett will be the pitcher.
The Brush pitching chain is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, Greg Mullen and his team are there to make the insurance world easy for you. Call them at 842-4555. Igmar Phillips Insurance. Things happen in life. Make sure you're prepared with the right insurance coverage. Igmar Phillips Insurance in Brush and Fort Morgan. So we're getting everything switched out here. Ben Garrett as the pitcher. He was third baseman. Braden Forrester hit a single right up the middle. And that had Carson go out. Ben Garrett.
So I see what we ended up doing here. Carson Rule moved to center field. Ben Garrett comes in to pitch from third base. Cesar Hinojos moves to third base. And Alejandro Maltos Garcia moves to left field. The pitch to Chaden Cox, officially on the day, 1 for 2. Pitch on the outside part of the plate for a ball. Chaden Cox has a single and he flew out. University is up 7-1. Ben Garrett's next pitch to Chaden Cox is up and in for ball 2. Ben Garrett looks in for the sign. Braden Forrester is at first base. Ben Garrett pitches, and the ball is fouled back to the right and out of play. Ben Garrett on the hill. It's been just a little bit since he's been on the hill in order to throw. The pitch from Garrett. Crushed to left center field. Carson Rule is on his horse. That ball was to the base of the fence, and Chaden Cox stops at third base. I'm sorry. Braden Forrester stops at third base, and Chaden Cox rolls into second with a double. I'm not sure if Chaden Cox touched first base when he ended up going around.
It's always hard to tell.
It's hard to tell sometimes umpires whether they look or not. But second and third with 1 out, and that brings up River Jackson to face Ben Garrett. The pitch from Garrett, a strike. Infield is in for Brush. They're on the infield grass. Braxton Shelton comes behind the pitcher as Hunter Ludgate throws back to the pitcher just to make sure that it is not going to fall in to where we'd end up having an issue. The ball hit by River Jackson to center field, drops in for a single, and Braden Forrester comes in to score. Chaden Cox moves up to third, and then on the throw to the plate, River Jackson moves up to second base. So with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning, University is up 8-1 over Brush. That brings up Joe Medina. The pitch by Cox. Excuse me. The pitch by Garrett to Medina. Medina lines drives to Braxton Shelton for the out. And nobody moves up as everything stayed in the infield. Nice play by Braxton Shelton as he lays out in order to keep that ball from going to the outfield. 2 outs on the board. Ben Garrett, first pitch to Nolan Johnson, the leadoff hitter for University, is a ball. Strike by Ben Garrett. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike to Nolan Johnson. Nolan Johnson officially 1 for 2 on the day. Nolan Johnson just hits the ball easy to center field. The 2 runners at second and third for University come around to score. Nolan Johnson's on at first. Just an easy line drive where both of the runners are advanced to where they end up scoring on the hit by Nolan Johnson. So that gets a run count to University 10, Brush 1 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nolan Johnson, first base. Caleb Padilla, the batter. University extends this inning. This game could end on a 10-run rule. Garrett's first pitch inside to Caleb Padilla. Nolan Johnson, leadoff hitter. He's got some speed. He gets a good lead, but Ben Garrett eyes that and throws over to first base just to keep Johnson close. Pitch from Garrett. Ball inside. 2 balls, no strikes to Caleb Padilla. This University team is very explosive. They've got a number of 300-plus hitters, and they put bat on ball and put ball in play. The pitch from Ben Garrett on the outside black of the plate, called by the umpire a strike. 2 balls and a strike to Caleb Padilla. Johnson leads off at first. Garrett with the pitch. Garrett's pitch is outside. Ludgate takes the ball and snaps throws it down to first base to Bryson Wooldridge, but Johnson gets back. Garrett has the ball. 3-1 to Padilla. The pitch swings through the pitch. Full count to Caleb Padilla. 3-2. 2 outs. As long as the pitcher comes to the plate, the runner at first base will be off with the pitch. 2 outs. Brush needs to get an out right here to continue in the game. Ben Garrett throws over to Bryson Wooldridge at first just to make sure that Nolan Johnson stays close without going too quick. Don't want to give him too much of a head start. Full count. University 10, Brush 1. The pitch from Garrett. Ball 4. Inside and up. Brush is just playing with fire. You don't want to give these guys extra at bats. You don't want to give them extra bases. And that's what Brush has done today. And looks like we have a courtesy runner for Caleb Padilla, number 11. I think that is Mason Ewing.
Okay. Yep. Ben Garrett gets set, and the pitch. That's outside corner for a strike.
Very good from Ben Garrett. Throws a strike to Andre Chacon, who's 3 for 3 with 3 singles. He's hit the ball sharply every single time. He's barreled it up and put the ball in play. Pitch from Garrett outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dangerous position for Brush. Let's see if Brush can get out of here. Garrett hits the ball from Andre Chacon. Andre Chacon hits it to left center field. The ball is thrown from Carson Rule to Bryson Wooldridge. And Nolan Johnson comes across the plate for the 11th run of the game and a 10-run Brush. I'll give you the stats for this, and then we'll go to break. But let me catch up here on iScore while Evan goes to one of our sponsors.
Alrighty. Colorado Plains Medical Center. CPMC has experienced physicians and a highly trained surgical team trained with the latest surgical procedures. Explore what procedures are possible in your hometown.
The score, the final score for this game at Tom Roach Field in Greeley, Colorado, University 11, Brush 1. You're listening to Brush Diggers Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.
The Brush Speakers postgame show is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center. A proud supporter of all our area athletes, will serve you with all your home, farm, and ranch supplies in 3 locations to serve you: Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan.
The final score from University High School is University 11 and Brush 1 in 5 innings. University scored 11 runs on 15 hits. They had 1 error and they left 5 on base. Brush scored 1 run on 2 hits. They had 1 error and they left 2 on base. University just put pressure on Brush all day, and it just seemed that they were able to keep Brush at bay without Brush being able to score. And with that, Brush loses. See if I can go through a game recap here where University scored in every inning. Now, University did not score in the 3rd and the 4th innings. They scored 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 8 in the 5th inning for the 11-1 win. University will move to 13-1 on the season, 2-0 in the Patriot League. Brush falls to 7-5. They're 1-1 in the Patriot League. The thing is, there's plenty of ball to be played. There's 7 more games in the Patriot League. Plus, Brush has games with Bennett and Kent Denver and Eagle Ridge Academy, a doubleheader. So there's plenty of games to be played from this point forward, and Brush needs to be able to get to where they put bat on ball, and when they have runners in position in order to be able to score, to be able to move them around, to be able to complete the trifecta, to be able to get them to cross the plate. University, pretty much all the way up and down their lineup, they had base hit after base hit, and they did what they needed to in order to win this ball game. University had 15 hits, and just from the top of the lineup all the way through to the bottom of the lineup, Padilla had a hit. Andre Chacon was 4 for 4 with the final game winner. Colton Whittler was 2 for 2. Jerry Martinez 1 for 2. The one that didn't do us any damage was Alex Martinez. He struck out twice. Chaden Cox was 2 for 3. River Jackson 2 for 3. Joe Medina was 0 for 3. Braden Furister came in to bat for Alex Martinez and had 1 hit and 1 at bat. For Brush, Brush had hits from Nick Wellen, and they also had a hit from Alejandro Maltos Garcia. So Brush just had the 2 hits. Pitching-wise, Carson Rule takes the loss. He pitched 4 1/3 innings and gave up the runs to where he ended up giving innings pitched. He 4 1/3, and he faced 24 batters, and he gave up 8 earned runs. Carson Rule coming into the game, his earned run average was 0.85. This will raise it considerably. He struck out 4 and gave up the 11 hits and 2 base on balls. Ben Garrett came in and pitched 1/3 of an inning, and Ben Garrett didn't strike out anybody but did give up a base on ball. Caleb Padilla for University gave up the 1 run on 2 hits to Brush, and just dominated by painting the outside part of the plate. He was right on the block all day. The umpire was giving that to him, And basically, University took care of what they needed to today by beating Brush 11-1. Brush has a game this next Tuesday against Estes Park, and that'll be from Sunset Field. And that game will be on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com with John Beltran. And next Thursday, Brush goes to Valley and plays Valley at Gilcrest. And that game will be on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. And next Saturday, Brush will play Eaton at home. And that game, again, will be carried on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The sound engineer and producer of Brush Beat Digger Baseball is Rose Condis. For Evan James, I'm Kevin Fergus with the final score, University 11, Brush 1. You've been listening to Brush Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.